Welcome back. So what's the difference between a passion and an addiction? Well, believe it or not, addiction many times gets confused with a passion because both can at times make you feel energized, excited, and powerful. But in this video, I'm going to show you how they're different from each other so that you can make sure that you're pursuing your passion and not an addiction. Now, when I decided to do this video, a couple of just random thoughts popped into my head about the difference between the two, kind of like quotes. So maybe these will resonate with you. And here's what I came up with. A passion needs truth. Addiction needs deception. A passion pursues the process. Addiction pursues the outcome. A passion illuminates the spirit. Addiction kills the spirit. A passion can be stopped. An addiction must be maintained. A passion has balance, while an addiction is all-consuming. A passion creates connection and community, while an addiction creates disconnection and isolation. The passionate person is enriched by others. The addict is consumed with themselves. The passionate person can accept responsibility and criticism. The addict is irresponsible and in denial. Now, the single greatest explanation I've ever heard of the difference between the two was Dr. Gabor Mate. I love him. If you have never read his stuff, please go to my website, www.thegreatnessuniversity.com. I have direct links to his books. He's brilliant, and at least I think so. And we really think alike when it comes to what causes everyone's problems and the solution. And I'm going to read to you because he's so elegant, man. I tell you, if I have some envy in my life, it's for the way he writes and speaks. I would love to be this elegant. So I'm going to read to you a little passage where he describes the difference between a passion and addiction. Because again, most people have it confused. They're pursuing addictions, not their passions. So here's what he says in part. The difference between passion and addiction is that between a divine spark and a flame that incinerates. Passion is divine fire. It enlivens and makes holy. It gives light and yields inspiration. Passion is generous because it's not ego-driven. Addiction is self-centered. Passion gives and enriches. Addiction is a thief. Passion is a source of truth and enlightenment. Addictive behaviors lead you into darkness. You're more alive when you are passionate, and you triumph whether or not you attain your goal. But an addiction requires a specific outcome that feeds the ego. Without that outcome, the ego feels empty and deprived. A consuming passion that you are helpless to resist, no matter what the consequences, is an addiction. I'm going to read that again. A consuming passion that you are helpless to resist, no matter what the consequences, is an addiction. That's where people get confused. You may even devote your entire life to a passion, but if it's truly a passion and not an addiction, you'll do so with freedom, joy, and a full assertion of your truest self and values. In addiction, there's no joy, freedom, or assertion. The addict lurks shamefaced in the shadowy corners of her own existence. Addiction is passion's dark simulacrum, and to the naive observer, its perfect mimic. It resembles passion in its urgency and in the promise of fulfillment, but its gifts are illusory. It's a black hole. The more you offer it, the more it demands. Unlike passion, its alchemy does not create new elements from old. It only degrades what it touches and turns it into something less, something cheaper. The question to ask yourself is, am I happier after pursuing my addiction? Addiction is centrifugal. It sucks energy from you, creating a vacuum of inertia. A passion energizes you and enriches your relationships. It empowers you and gives strength to others. Passion creates. Addiction consumes. First the self, and then the others within its orbit. Man, that's just like Mozart to me, the way he says that, and the juxtaposition, the difference between a passion and addiction. And if you listen to most CEOs, athletes, politicians, people that have achieved a lot, what they're really, and they'll say it's a passion, but it's an addiction. There isn't balance. There isn't joy. There isn't fulfillment. It is outcome-based. And frankly, that was me. Almost everything in my life I've pursued as an addiction. All of my careers, hockey and golf, all of them, and even my construction company, it was all about the outcome. I never felt a sense of joy. Here was a perfect example. I remember I was playing hockey, and I had the total movie moment that, you know, any athlete wants. It was a playoff game, and I was a goalie, and there's a rule, you can't cover the puck in the crease, so only the goalie can. Well, one of our players did that with like a minute left to go in overtime. So it's what they call a penalty shot. So it's just me against another player, that's it. And as soon as the ref blew his whistle and pointed out to center ice, I knew what was happening, and the whole stadium just went dead quiet. It was silent, like just murmurs for a couple of minutes while we're getting set up. And I can still remember looking down, you know, leaning on my pads, and I can see my heart. I can see my chest protectors moving in and out, and I'm watching the sweat drip from my mask. And the only thought I had was, just do what you always do after you make a big save. That was it. And then the ref signals for him to start. He starts coming forward. I came way out of my net to cut down the angle, started moving back with him. And then I saw him drop his shoulder. And normally when somebody drops their shoulder, that means they're going to shoot. But I was kind of hesitant because they'll do that. Sometimes they'll do that and then they'll pull it to go around you. Well, I just remember seeing his shoulder flinch. And then it was literally like an explosion. Like I have no memory. There was so much pressure and stress in the moment. It was like an explosion in my eyes. And I just went down because I made the assumption he was going to shoot. And then I remember having this sensation of feeling the puck hit a part of my stick. And the next memory I have is me turning and seeing the puck bounce, you know, into the corner. I had stopped it. And the whole stadium erupted, chanting my name, Kenny, Kenny. What every male or female athlete wants. The whole rest of the game, everyone swarmed me after the game. It was probably 5 to 8 minutes of the whole building chanting my name. And I remember I was the last one to leave the ice, and they're still chanting, and I'm looking down, and I was blank. I was empty. I was everything he wrote. There was absolutely no joy, no freedom. And I remember saying to myself, this is it? And also feeling, but if they really knew who I was. That's behind the addiction. It's not who we are. And so most people, that's why when they achieve the success, they'll talk about that, the similar experience, this emptiness. It's because they're not pursuing a passion. Now the difference is this career. It's pure passion. Like yesterday, a buddy of mine, a really close friend, we went out for a bike ride, and then we went out to breakfast and sitting across from him and, you know, just enjoying, having a great conversation and great morning. And he's like, so what are you going to do all day? And I said, oh, I'll probably do some work, shoot some videos, and he's like, it's Sunday. Aren't you going to take the day off? And I'm like, but I love it. Like, I love researching this. You know, I mean, I know a lot of people benefit from these videos, but I just love talking about it. It's like, well, I'm single. I'm not dating anyone. My kids are gone. Who else am I going to talk to? Well, I'll talk to you guys. You know, a lot of you seem to listen. And so it gives me a chance to talk about it and research it and develop it and create programs. And I just, you know, and then when I discover, you know, certain aspects of it, I'll be dancing around my house. It's just me. And no one knows about it but me. That's passion. I wake up every day. I never work. You know, I probably work in general 60 to 80 hours a week, but it's not work. I still have balance in my life. I go for bike rides and do other things. But in the midst of it, I can always go back to this. But yet, I will still, you know, I did a little bit of work yesterday and then I just took a nap. It's like, I'm ready for sleep. I can get away from it. I can have balance. There's not this incessant pull that I need an outcome. I need something different, or I need your approval or something like that. And that's at the heart of every addiction. So I encourage you, whether it's a relationship, whether it's your career, whether it's your hobby, think of those quotes I suggested. Rewind this video. Replay his elegant and beautiful words. And take stock honestly in your life. Are you pursuing a passion or an addiction? Is it robbing your soul or filling your soul? And here's the biggest thing. What's happening with the people in your life? Are you married? Do you have kids? Are you abandoning them for your so-called passion? Or is it an addiction, hiding intolerable pain, just like the sports were for me and everything else I did? Was an abandonment of myself because I didn't know how to attach to myself. So I encourage you to look at that within you and decide, are you ready to face that pain so you can live in the passion and live in the joy? So there you go. There's the difference between a passion and an addiction. I hope that helps you. I hope you liked it. If you do, please like it. If you know somebody that might be struggling with this same kind of conundrum or decision, please share it. And as always, leave me your comments. Let me know, are you pursuing your passion, or have you just realized, wow, maybe what I thought was a passion is actually an addiction? And as always, enjoy. Just wherever you are in it, just enjoy the journey.